Is this working? Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming to this talk. My name is Mincy, pronounced she, her, and I'm part of the Earth organization at Niantic. I work on consumer scanning and mapping to enable augmented reality experiences, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So it's going to be a very casual and visual session. I've got a lot of cool images and videos that I'm excited to share with all of you, so hopefully it's fun and educational as well. Let's get started. By the way, I'm juggling two screens and control today, so bear with me while I do the shuffling. So first, a little bit of self-introduction. If you can't really tell from my accent, I am Singaporean, based in San Francisco, and I'm so excited to be home for the food. If you're traveling here for the conference, welcome to the city. I hope you enjoy the food, our tropical weather, and have a great time here. Many of you probably also got here with Grab today. As Loretta mentioned in my previous life, I was with Grab for almost 6 years, from 2016 through our IPO until 2022, and running our consumer experience team. Now, one of the very first features I launched then was pickup points. I don't know if many of you remember, but 7 years ago, 2D mapping wasn't so good. If you took Uber or Grab to large complex locations like Expo, we're going to just drop the pin in the middle of the building and be like, good luck, we hope you find your way. So launching these points and collecting them across 8 countries requires not just data science, but operations and millions of passengers and drivers continuously giving us that data and updating that in an offline, online, virtual cycle. Accuracy is so important in 2D mapping, helping you get to where you want to be and to the right door. Now, fast forward today, in my present life, I work on 3D mapping, where accuracy is even more important, sometimes on an atomic level. And we're going from GPS to VPS, from just position to also orientation. What remains the same, though, is that this map is still powered by millions of players across the globe, sharing that data with us. And that's very much in the DNA of what we do. So here at Niantic, our mission is to inspire people to explore the world together. With our games and technology, we've built communities in over 175 countries, and that's over 15 billion miles walked and 400 million friendships made. This means that we're all about fun. We're about connecting people, communities, creating memories, and helping people to explore and enjoy this world. And you know, what's magical is that what these players are seeing is not the world that you and I see. What they see is a different augmented world, a world of Pokemons and monsters and gyms to conquer. We've made this playground even more colorful by adding this extra dimension and augmenting it with a rich layer of experiences. So the street is not just a street, there's a battle or a portal around every corner waiting for you. That's the vision that we try to bring to life, and we call it the real-world metaverse. So how do we do that? A lot of what underlies it is the Niantic map. The base of the map, it scans video and geodata that we get from all of our players around the globe, and we layer on our own VPS technology, and we create this planetary scale AR experiences for everyone to enjoy. And so that's going to be our theme for today. We're going to talk about 3D scanning and 3D mapping, and how together that leads to a 6DoF immersive world. We'll start with the first topic, my favorite one, which is scanning. So 3D scanning is essentially a form of photography. You're really trying to capture and preserve the real world at this moment in time so that you can revisit it after, interact, or share it with someone. And this resonates so much with me personally because, again, as a Singaporean, I love traveling. I've been to over 50 countries now, but oftentimes it's hard to capture the beauty of what I see. So the pictures don't do it justice. This is a scan I took of the Amaluri Sphere in the Venetian hotel lobby in Vegas. You may recognize it. If it were a regular photo, it's flat, and this is all I get. But because I took a scan of it, I can now preserve this 360 degrees view from all angles and revisit the intricate interior carvings and construction. So basically, I'm getting a little bit of that wow when I first saw it. At Niantic, we have various scanning capabilities, but one I really want to showcase today is the two that I used to create this, and that's called Scaniverse. It's a mobile app that's freely available on the App and Play stores. It's packed with the most powerful features in scanning technology. And I honestly love the name. It's Scan the Universe, and that's exactly what you do. It allows you to scan the world around you by taking a slow video. You can then process it immediately on device to create 3D models, and it's private and secure, and all the data is yours. Then you can also do basic editing. Oh, I have videos here. There you go. To create, to like adjust cropping, saturation, exposure, and we also have some current common features and functionalities like AR view, if you want to view your session on a desktop, or measure it with a ruler. Lastly, you can also share it on a web link, so anyone can view it on a browser. You can create this cinematic video that I showed you earlier, and download it in MP4 and share it on socials. Or if you're a developer, you can also export it to a wide variety of formats, and that's compatible with engines like FBX, OBJ, PLY, etc. So it's a really powerful tool, and we've invested in making this better over the last year. So earlier this year, we made 2 exciting updates. The first is we extended support for Android. So Scaniverse is now also available on the Play Store. And we've now accessible to 50% more users. It's still a very early version, but we're improving it every day as we go. So this is a slide around the Google headquarters. Next, we also introduced one very exciting new technology, and that's Gaussian splatting. I'm going to spend some time now talking about splats. So if you're in the 3D world, you would be familiar maybe with this term called Gaussian splatting. It's been around since the 90s. But exactly 1 year ago, it really took off due to a SIGGRAPH research paper, which put forth a better rendering method. Now, despite that though, splats are still not very well understood. They're not common vocabulary. And at AWE Long Beach earlier this year, my colleague Tori tried to explain what splats are to the audience, and he Googled some definitions. And this is what he found. Conceptually, the Gaussian splat is considered a spherically symmetric 3D reconstruction clonal centered at the voxel. How many of us understood that? Nice. We have a few hands in the room. He then tried Wikipedia next, and this is what Wikipedia got. It's a volume rendering technique that deals with the direct rendering of volume data without converting the data into surface or primitives. And then how many of people understood that? So, because I'm obviously not as smart as some of you in this room, I understood none of that. So I asked Perplexity to give me an answer for a 10-year-old. And unfortunately, I still found it too complicated, so I just decided to come up with my own. And Gaussian splats are like soft, fuzzy overs, which make 3D images look real. So that's my level right there. I even included an image to help me visualize what soft, blurry overs look like. So full disclaimer, I am by no means an expert, but I'm going to try and explain this a little bit. So in 3D reconstruction, meshes have been around for 30 over years and are the conventional output today. The way they work is that you're almost using a bunch of textured triangles to kind of try to recreate the surface and structure of an object. Now, in recent years, the most popular methods are neural radiance fields, or NURBS, and photogrammetry. However, the downsides to this is that they are expensive to train and render, files are huge, and sometimes they hallucinate. So splatting is a new technique, and splats are these overs, or actually ellipsoids, which try to represent volume, and each of these overs has view-dependent color, opacity, position, orientation, scale. And the fuzziness is really important because it's the key to the gradient descent that's used to train the models. So one way I like to think about it is like art. I love drawing parallels between painting and scanning because it's basically us trying to capture what we see in the naked eye, but through very different mediums. Now, if you're familiar with the pointillism method, it's basically using millions of little dots to make up a scene. And it's the same here, where we start with a point cloud. You have these millions of tiny points, and we convert them to, overs or splats. Now, remember these overs also have fuzzy edges. So at this point, it becomes a little bit more similar to Impressionism, where these fuzzy edges blend together. So it becomes not just discrete dots, but continuous strokes. Impressionism is also very much about capturing light correctly, which splats do really well. So using deep learning frameworks on these ovals, we stretch and rotate them to move and make up the spaces of the wall. Oops, there we go. And it takes thousands of iterations to fine-tune it so that it matches the ground truth image from the left to the right. So what does this achieve? What are the results of this method? It allows us to have photorealistic, lifelike quality where you can really be transported into the scene. These are all splats done with the Scaniverse app, and look how gorgeous they are. You can see every angle and orientation of the object, just like in the real world. The details and textures come alive, especially when it comes to shiny, transparent surfaces or reflections. Someone internally said that splats are like painting with strokes of light, and how beautiful is that? Look at how well this model captures the light filtering through the trees from every angle. It's just incredible. And you know, the best part is, all of this is happening on your phone in minutes. Now, traditionally, when you try to create a 3D model, you need to upload it to the cloud. It takes 10, 20, 40 minutes or a few hours to return back. But we've gotten that down to around a minute on modern iOS devices without a Wi-Fi connection. So it's all happening on your device. This is the equivalent of going from a 1-hour Photoshop to an instant digital camera, right? We call it the 3D Polaroid. Now, if you want to spend a bit more time, you can choose to enhance it about 5 to 6 more times to train it for longer, but only if you want to. And this speed is so important because we're now so close to that quality bar experience that's ready for mass consumer consumption beyond a niche audience. Like I said, I've been in consumer products for over a decade. You can have the best technology and algorithms, but unless it's surfaced for the user in an elegant and intuitive manner, it's not going to take off. And splats give you this near instant feedback loop and gratification. You can see immediately how good your scan was, and that's really helpful. It's so simple. You, me, my mom who's not tech savvy can now become 3D content creators with just a few taps. Like, that's how powerful this is. And it gets better over time. So the tech is moving so incredibly fast in this area. In 2023, we were working with meshes. 2024, we're working with splats. I can't wait to see what it will be like in 2025. And speed as well. When we first tried to do this on Android, which everyone knows is more complicated, it took about 30 minutes to process the splat. In just a few months, we reduced this down to about 3 minutes on the latest Pixel 8. So imagine how much faster we're going to get in the future. So that's really what brings me joy in my work, the fact that we never settle for just enough. We see what's out there and we think, hey, we can do better. And we do it. And at the core, we really want to make scanning easier and more enjoyable for everyone out there. And that's why I'm so excited to share today that we are also launching Scaniverse 4, as you may have heard this morning, which is a reimagination of the app. You can now see your scans on a map and see what creators like you around the world have contributed. You can create a splat in minutes, share it to the map, and see it instantly updated. People can view and like your splats, and we've really invested in the discovery experience so that you can browse and explore scenes from across the globe, both on the map and within our feed. What's already in place is tens of thousands of scans from the Niantic community and 3D enthusiasts that we've already populated the map with. So it's basically tourism in your hand, and we're really excited for you to try this. Yeah, so, you know, it's beautiful, it's fast, and the best part is it's free and unlimited. In my obviously unbiased opinion, this is the most powerful scanning app on the planet. And I don't know what else you're waiting for. You should really download Scaniverse now and try it out for yourself. If you can't see the QR code on the screen, the great thing is that we pay to have this QR code on the back of your badge, so you can all download it anytime you want. So please do it today. Try it out for yourself. Give us feedback. We're very excited for you to experience this. The map is currently only available on iOS, but we're also working very hard to bring that to our Android users later this winter. Now, we are also today launching our Scaniverse community on Discord. So whether you're a new or expert scanner, we invite you to join our fellow 3D enthusiasts and share tips, feedback, and good scans with each other. All right, that was fun. So now we're gonna shift gears a little bit and talk about mapping. So other than admiring the beauty of the scans and sharing them, what do we do with them? Well, we use them to build maps. Now, we're gonna get a little bit architectural in this next slide. As I mentioned previously, scans are the base of the map, and we get our scans today from first-party games like Pokemon Go or Ingress, which you may be familiar with. Also our Wayfarer community and Scaniverse. So everything starts with a scan. And scans are basically a series of image frames with post information, and we try to illustrate that here on the right, that allows us to reconstruct artifacts which we use to build the visible and invisible map. There are three main types of artifacts. So maps is the invisible map that we use to localize you. So every time you send your image from device or camera feed to the cloud, we compare that to the map and return your 6 degrees of freedom relative to where you are. So every time we localize, we know your position and orientation. Meshes and splats are a bit more tangible, invisible. They're both outputs of Scaniverse. Meshes are useful for authoring and physics, making it easy to build interactive experiences. And splats are more for immersive experiences, really giving you that lifelike detail from all angles. Like I showcased earlier, we can now do a lot of this on a client, which is really cool because traditionally it would have required a ton of computing power on the cloud. So when you do a scan though, many of our players and users also upload their scans. And we combine all of the scans that we get from different times, place, lighting conditions, weather conditions, devices, angles, and having this all enables us to build assets which are more durable and constant against the dynamic backdrop of the world that we live in. Here's a quick illustration of what this looks like. So with meshes we get RGB and semantic information, and then with splats we got this awesome visualization. So we take all of these scans, we process them, anonymize them, and then try to fuse them together and align them with the real world so that we can create truly accurate representations. And that's how bit by bit we build the Niantic map. So I'm sure we have a lot of developers in the house today. This next section is also very relevant to developers out there because we have many new improvements that are available now and constantly coming on the way. The first is we've got over a quarter, 500,000, well, I think about 400K now, high-quality VPS locations activated. And these are commonly found in popular zones with high foot traffic, San Francisco, Singapore, Tokyo. We've also increased the average localizable area. So that means the size of these meshes on the right are getting larger and larger, and effectively increasing the playground that you can build AR experiences on. We increased the localization distance from 5 to 50 meters, so you can start to build experiences which are larger in size and which start from further away. And of course, the quality is always getting better, and all of this has implications for HMD, viewing and interacting with splats on headset, which is going to be really exciting. Today, we also have a geospatial browser for building new world experiences, and any VPS developer building on 8-ball is able to now contribute, create scans on Scaniverse and add them to the geospatial browser. So you can browse the map, add locations, create and upload scans, request VPS activation, and test VPS all in one app. The iOS beta is available now, Android is coming later, but it's live on 8wall.com/geospatial browser. You can download Scaniverse, generate a QR code to link your accounts, and get started. It's that simple. I'm also excited to share that you can now connect Scaniverse with Studio. Studio is also something that we launched very recently. It's a visual editor for web XR development and web gaming engine that helps you to easily create experiences and deploy them across different devices and platforms. It's got a very powerful set of tools like editable live play and advanced XR features. And again, all of this is available for free at 8war.com. So in today's Scaniverse app update, as of 1 a.m. this morning, you will have the ability to export splats in a new compressed format called SPZ that's compatible with Studio. So you can create splats in Scaniverse, import them to Studio, and access all of these wonderful editing tools to build this interactive, immersive experiences using real-world scenes. If you drop by our booth later, which is right outside, you can even see a demo of how we've done it. So putting it all together, we started out this presentation by saying that 3D plus 3D equals to 6 degrees of freedom. And in this last section, it's going to be a fun showcase of what we have done and what we can do with scans and VPS in the same equation. Now, we went through a great example this morning in Ben's keynote, but one other example I want to show you is this partnership that we did with Op Amsterdam and the Museum of Belvedere in Vienna, where coincidentally the next AWE is held. This is an educational adventure game where visitors to the museum can use their mobile devices to scan their surroundings and look for creatures located around the museum. So this makes use of both lightship VPS and world effects to recognize an object and unlock associated content that's anchored there. The animals then come to life in your phone and give a very animated experience. They meander around the building, and you can also take AR photos. So this is a great example of how, as a developer or venue, you can really redefine the user's interaction with static objects and give the added dimension. Now, let's go a little bit more futuristic. Earlier, we talked about splats, and we showcased like medium-sized objects and scenes. So this is a fun video that shows you just how big splats can get. And demonstrates how lifelike it truly is, because you're able to see this unique representation from every viewpoint, so it looks and feels really real. This is combined from a bunch of different data sources and types we've fused together and georeference, so you can zoom all the way down and go around and into this building in one continuous experience. Now, imagine the applications this has for an educational or entertainment experience, where maybe you have like a superhero character and he flies around and he goes from a bird's eye view down to pedestrian, and he even enters the room to interact with fictional characters. So this is not yet available on Nest because it requires very heavy server computation, but we're able to use, but it's on the horizon and it unlocks so many possibilities. So with more data, we can build larger and larger maps. This increases the canvas that you as developers can build AR experiences on. It also simplifies it because we can have one map for web and Unity. We're also continuously looking into supporting new data types. You don't have to, but we're able to use LiDAR where available. And a picture below is an example from our research team, which uses a LiDAR dataset superimposed to create a larger world model. Earlier, I mentioned that you can also now localize on VPS from 50 plus meters away. And here's an example. On the left is a demo that we built for the Ferry Building, which, by the way, is the Niantic headquarters in San Francisco. So it's an immersive walking guide where, as you're arriving, we show you the different merchants that live there, their ratings, and we also display their ferry departure times. We light up the path for you. And what's cool is that as you're walking, we continue to track what you see and surface that content to you. Now, here at Niantic, we are pretty big on safety, and we generally don't encourage road crossing AR experiences. But hey, at least we can localize well enough to keep us all alive. So this is something we built fully end-to-end by our UX engineering team. We created this demo to familiarize ourselves with the end-to-end journey for developers. So large-scale experiences, so that we can eventually help other developers to do it better. Now, as you emerge on the other side, this path resumes, and you approach entrance of the Ferry Building, and we show you a sign that says, "Welcome to the Ferry Building." So it's a really cool experience, and imagine kind of seeing this and experiencing this in your AR glasses someday. Now, on the right is something that's more real, and which we recently launched at the Paris Olympics, again with Pop Amsterdam, and this is our largest VPS activation to date. It's a web XR showcase, which transforms the entire building's facade into a tribute for Team Netherlands, and updates to celebrate every time the Dutch athletes bring home a new medal. So the medal count keeps going up. So it really gives the extra delight factor with that on-ground Olympic fever. And obviously we're hoping to scale this to more event venues and use cases in future. So, in summary, scanning and mapping this world is a mission that we've dedicated ourselves to because we believe in XR for everyone. By giving developers the tools to do so as well. And we hope you join us on this journey starting today by downloading Scaniverse. And together we can map this world one scan at a time. Thank you. That's all I have to share today. I see that I'm out of time from the play card. So if you have any questions or would like to learn more about Scaniverse, I'll be in the Niantic group for the rest of the afternoon. It's right outside this door. So please come meet the team, stop by and learn more about what we have to offer. And thank you very much.